call it being in the valley of disappointment. And I remember the Lord encountering me during a worship service. And he said this, he said, "You are camped out in the wilderness." He said, when the Israelites were delivered from Egypt, they started walking, of course, for 40 years in the wilderness. They were walking to what? The promised land. And the Israelites started with a whole bunch of people, their mom, their dad, their cousins, their friends, their spouse, their kids. And in those 40 years, they lost people. Maybe they started off with mom, but then at some point, mom passed away, and they'd have to stop walking forward. They'd have to dig a hole. They'd have to bury mom, pay her homage, and then they had a choice to make. Were they going to stay there at the gravesite, or were they going to march forward to the promised land? And the Lord showed me a picture of myself in that moment. I was sitting at a campsite, and that disappointing moment, I had built a memorial stone to. And I had a tent pitched at the campsite, and I was sitting in a camp chair, and I was not moving forward. And the Lord said to me, get up, unpitch the tent, fold the chair up, knock over that memorial that you've built to the incident that brought you deep disappointment, and start marching forward. Listen, the Israelites were headed to the promised land. But for us, Jesus is the promised land.